Hey guys, Hawks from 7th Hour Films back again with Demon Slayer. Last time around we had Bright Red Sword, where the battle continued at the Swordsmith Village. Tanjiro was able to combine his sword with Nezuko's blood. And this was more Nezuko's idea, I guess. But yeah, they combined those two and he got a bright red, flaming, bursting, exploding sword and cut off the heads of 3 of the upper 4 demons, but there's still the 4th one, and it looks like it's been decapitated by Genya, but Genya looks like he's been possessed, so problems there. And then, what else is there? Tokito managed to find one of the swordsmiths. I don't remember what level he is, but yeah. And is currently fighting upper 5. Meanwhile, Mitsuri, that was it. I blanked on her name for a second. Mitsuri made it back to the Swordsmith Village, and she's dispatching some of the fish demons, and she managed to save the chief, who is very grateful to be cradled in the strong yet delicate arms of Mitsuri. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like always, the reaction is down in the description and the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So, let's get right into this episode of Demon Slayer. Here we go. But why is he part demon? You can't just leave me hanging on that. Oh, this is my sad backstory of why me and my brother are part of the Demon Slayer Corps. You turned into a demon. Yeah, ignore that part. I mean, what? Doesn't that happen to everybody? I'm out here in Nakatomi Plaza and they just turned my body into Swiss cheese. Okay. Let's talk. This is, I'm about to speak some things when I be like, you know what? We gotta talk, and I clap. We gotta talk about something. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are annoyed when this show does the whole sad demon backstory after they've already been killed. I understand that. Here's my thing. Introducing really awful people and then giving them their sad backstory and being like, oh, you shouldn't have called him an asshole. It's like, I'm sorry, when you introduced him in season 1, he was an asshole. He's still kind of, Genya's a little bit better. But this is the thing of, Tanjiro is a better person than I am, Because Tanjiro looks at everything. He probably thinks he's friends with all the Hashira, And, look, yes, in season 1 with his brother, I don't remember his brother's name, with his brother, where he's he's threatening Nezuko and, tempting her with his blood, and he's got just this crazed look on his face and stuff. Yeah, you can assume back then, okay, he must have some backstory, because, every Demon Slayer has a backstory. Otherwise, they wouldn't be Demon Slayers. Maybe the only people that don't really have backstories are Zenitsu and Inosuke, And even Zenitsu still has the, he incurred a lot of debt, so he was taken on by his old master, and then he had to become a demon slayer, and that's pretty much that, And there's also that one jerk that hated him. Inosuke has less. He was just a child on the mountain, found a demon slayer, beat him, took his sword, eventually found another sword, and then became a demon slayer, and that was just that, And he's all self-taught, it's not really that sad a backstory, you know? Like, there's some hints, but not much. There's some hints at maybe something when he was a baby, but not much. But it's like, yeah, you can assume most Demon Slayers have a sad backstory. I'm assuming Mitsuri still has somewhat of a sad backstory. You know, I know her whole thing, you know, she said, like, oh, well, I became a Demon Slayer to find a husband, which, yeah, that was a good idea. But, I mean, just on the fact that in the outro, I feel like it's teasing a bigger backstory for her, you know? But it's just... And I'm sure a lot of Demon Slayers have the whole, you know, my family was killed by demons, therefore I am a Demon Slayer, you know? It's kind of like Chainsaw Man, you know? It's kind of like Chainsaw Man, where there's so many people that have a history that, you know, relates to the Gun Devil, you know, including Hayakawa, but then there's people like Kobani, who she's there for the money because she literally couldn't get anything else, you know, and her family needed money. So, but I mean, just with some of these, like, okay, here's what I don't want. I don't want to see Snake Boy's backstory because I don't like him, you know? I didn't really want to see Scarface's backstory because I didn't like him, you know? So it's just, I mean, and that's just a personal, like, I just don't like those characters, you know? They're assholes, you know? And that's just that, you know? And even still, because it's like, oh, wow, you know, they have these, you know, terrible backstories or something, and it's like, okay, you're still an asshole, you know? That's just kind of that. You're still an asshole, you know? You know who's not an asshole? Tengen. And he went through this whole dark, you know, thing where, oh, in the shinobi training, you know, I had like 80,000 brothers and sisters, and all but one of them died, you know? Or Rengoku, you know? He's not an asshole. I guess his backstory may not be as intense, but he's not an asshole. Tomioka, he's a little quiet and a little reserved and a little cold, but he's not actually an asshole, you know? Shinobu, I mean, her sister, who was a Hashira, was killed by demons. She's not an asshole. But I guess they have every right to be assholes. I don't know, but that's what bugs me more, you know? And maybe this isn't even a problem with this show, and maybe it's more of a problem with anime, you know? And I guess it's a silly thing to dislike, but I guess it's a silly thing to dislike, but I mean, it is sort of the thing of, like, you know, it's the thing of, you know, you make your judgment off multiple appearances of these characters, and then the show is like, well, here's their tragic backstory. Aren't you an asshole? And it's like, fuck you. You didn't tell me that. And even still, they're still assholes, you know? And they don't have to be. Like, I don't even fully understand. Well, I mean, obviously I don't fully understand Genya's backstory, because why is he a demon? Like, hello? Why is he part demon, apparently? Like, he even said, you know, he can regenerate his limbs. Like, why? Why? Brown? No, I don't get it. They just sort of gloss over that. But I don't get why the brother is now an asshole to him, you know? When they, like, stuck together. Like, yes, I understand that, you know, Genya said things, you know, he called his brother a murderer when he found his mother. But Genya was, like, what, 7 years old? And probably didn't know what a demon was, you know? So he was a young boy. He probably didn't know what a demon was. He didn't realize that it was his mother that attacked them, you know? So, like, Unless his brother being an asshole is just some, like, backwards motivation, you know? It's like Zane in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I'll make this reference. Where he's doing, like, this, like, backwards motivation to make his brother Cyrus better. Or not. I don't remember. But maybe that's it. Maybe he wants to, you know, he wants Genya to get better out of spite. I don't fucking know. I don't know. He's still an asshole. Snake Boy is still an asshole. The jury's still out on Crying Guy. You know, of all of the Hashira, I forget about him. You know, the crying one. Like, just a big lump of nothing that character was. So watch, he'll be an endearing cinnamon roll at some point. So, yeah. I don't know. Also, we did get confirmation that Genya does not do a breathing technique. Does he not have a master? Like, I mean, I guess, so here's the question. Are breathing techniques, like, I guess I just never thought about this, because I guess there are, you know, the lower rank demon slayers, you know? Like all those sad sacks we saw on Mount Natagumo, you know? And, you know, they just sort of come in, hold up a sword, and die immediately. You know, they're the red shirts of this show. Are they just people that have a sword and vaguely have sword skills but don't... Like, is a breathing technique... Are breathing techniques actually more exclusive than we realized, you know? I guess that kind of makes sense, that it's not just something that everyone learns, you know? Which is why there are multiple breathing techniques, you know? But that's just kind of strange that it's like, so did he build himself up? I guess he did. I mean, Inosuke is self-taught, but he knew... I mean, he knew to do a breathing technique. He made it up. He created beast breathing, but it's a breathing technique, you know? But I guess, you know, if you've got demon slayers like Tomioka and Tanjiro, who both learned from Mr. Urokodaki to use water breathing, Rengoku would have learned, well, he learned from his father's book, not from his father necessarily. Kanao learns from Shinobu, you know? So I guess it's either you learn from someone how to do a breathing technique. Zenitsu learned from his master. Or you create your own breathing technique. I guess that's the thing, you know? I guess that's the thing. And Genya just hasn't. I don't know. I would love if he busted out, like, gun breathing. That just, because just, his gun is just so goofy that it'd just be funny, you know? I guess that's that. Interesting episode. It's alright. Yeah, why is he a demon? Why is he you can't leave me hanging on that. Why is he a demon? Oh well. I mean, that's about the halfway point of the season, so we still got a lot of time to figure that out. Anyway, that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Demon Slayer reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.